My new plugin, Azon Exit Cache, can be used in a lot of different ways to create exit pages for your website. So I wanted to take some time to actually walk you guys through some of my personal recommendations for utilizing this plugin. And this would be both for promoting Amazon products and also for some other purposes that actually work out good with using exit pages, such as creating a newsletter sign-up exit page. So to start with, I want to begin simple, and I'll work my way up to more complicated as we proceed. To start with, though, I want to talk to you about the whole concept of using an exit page on your live website. Obviously, on a live website, you have more than one page, at least with most websites. With an exit page, and especially with Azon Exit Cache, you can actually choose which particular pages on your site you want to use an exit page on. And with this plugin, you can even go a step further than that and actually have different exit pages for different pages of your live website. What I mean by that is when somebody is viewing a particular page and they try to leave your website from that page, like they go up here and they try to close down the page, this is where the exit page will actually display. So when you have an exit page set up for, say, the home page, it's only going to display when somebody tries to leave your website from the home page itself. So with this in mind, you kind of have a choice with any given website, whether you want to just create one exit page that would cover the entire website, or whether you would want to take the time to create a number of different exit pages. Now, the reason why you might actually want to take the time to create a variety of exit pages is because you can actually gear the content and the advertisements on that exit page to the content of the page that somebody is viewing on your website. So think about it like this. Let's say you have a lot of traffic that enters your website through a particular page. Maybe they're coming through on search engine rankings and they land on one specific page of your website. My IKEA page on this particular website happens to be one of those pages where I actually have a lot of incoming traffic. I actually get somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,000 visitors every single month that enters just on this one page of this website. So when you take the time to explore the traffic of your website, having something like Google Analytics set up to where you can actually figure out what pages of your website people are entering on and the different pages that they're viewing, and maybe even the pages that they are leaving your website from, then you can use that information to figure out where it might actually be worthwhile to create a custom exit page just for a particular page of your website. So while on this entire website I might have one exit page that would simply be showing a variety of down comforters that are available on Amazon, on this specific page here, my exit page would actually be better off being geared towards this particular brand, IKEA, or maybe even towards a specific model for that brand. The IKEA Myceron happens to be not only the keyword phrase that attracts the most traffic for this particular page for me, but it also happens to be the main kind of down comforter under the IKEA brand that is actually sold on Amazon. So, making an IKEA specific down comforter exit page that I could gear towards this one particular page of my website will obviously give me better results than simply using one generic exit page for the entire website that just had a variety of down comforters on it. So before you actually begin going through and creating a lot of exit pages for your website, do a little bit of research first. Look at your traffic and try to figure out what your most popular pages are, what your most common entry and exit pages are. And ask yourself if there is a particular selection of products that would work better, that would be more targeted towards those specific pages of your website. And this way you can kind of plan ahead of time what exit pages you want to create and what pages of your website they will actually apply to. Now, before I move on to start talking to you about creating some of these exit pages that are geared more towards a specific brand or model of a product, I also want to talk about different kinds of exit pages that you can actually create. We obviously have the standard Amazon exit page, where we have a listing of Amazon products along with the weight image up at the top. This is the standard exit page that this plugin will create for you when you're entering in Amazon information. However, you can get more creative than this and actually create exit pages for different purposes. So also ask yourself if there is something else besides Amazon ads that you might actually want to put on an exit page. And the best example of that, especially one that would be most useful for Amazon affiliate websites, would be to create an exit page that was geared towards connecting your readers with you, especially since a lot of people will generally find your Amazon website and view it, and once they leave, they simply never return to it. Well, you can use these exit pages to not only try to monetize the people that are leaving your website, but you can also try to build them as a returning reader. If you can get them on an email newsletter list, or if you can get them to add your website feed to a variety of different feed programs, if you can get them to connect with you on social media, to like a fan page for your website, to join a Facebook group that you've created for your niche. There's a wide variety of different kinds of situations that all really revolve around engagement with your readers. And when you can get that engagement with them, when you have a way that you can contact them in the future to get them to return to your website, then you get away from being completely dependent on things like Google traffic. And in fact, you can more easily build your traffic levels over the course of time because a portion of your traffic you retain as your loyal readers. And then when you're releasing new content in the future, you not only get your fresh visitors coming off of search engines, but then you also have your returning visitors that you can send back to your website. And this is really how you can grow an Amazon site from being more than just a $100 a month niche site into being essentially one site that could provide a full-time income for most people. So again, before you actually start creating a bunch of exit pages for your website, ask yourself what your goals really are with this website. Are you simply looking for hands-free income where you guide people along to Amazon? Or are you willing to put forth a little more time into your website to build that engagement factor with your readers? This can have a heavy effect on what kind of exit page you actually want to create. So that's definitely something that you should be considering before you just dive into it all. So now to start with, I want to walk you through creation of a couple of exit pages. But obviously I've provided tutorials on how to use the plugin already. These are really going to be more geared towards my recommendations for how to actually select your products and how to actually set up a custom exit page, for example, if you want to create a newsletter page. So to begin with, I want to take this IKEA page here, and I want to make an exit page that is just geared towards that IKEA page. So I'm going to start off by creating a new exit page. I'm going to call this IKEA, and I'm going to search for some IKEA down comforters on Amazon. And then I will be adding these in as I can find them. Now, IKEA has more than just down comforters. They make other kinds of comforters that are not specifically a down comforter. So I am willing to slightly step outside of what my page is really about because I'm still sticking to the actual brand that my page is targeting. And since a lot of my search engine traffic for that particular page, it actually comes in through IKEA-based searches. So I know people are looking for IKEA stuff when they land on that page. And maybe the products that I have on my page, which is actually limited to just the Mysaron model, maybe these are not covering what people are really looking for when they land on my page. So coming up with my own custom list of products that I can actually show allows me to target these products a lot better than the generic exit page. My generic exit page here, I actually do have 3 IKEA comforters up at the top, which I had manually placed there. However, everything else is not an IKEA product. So I feel like there is a pretty decent area there where I might be missing out on some potential sales from just that one specific page on my website. So that's what I'm trying to address here with the creation of this particular exit page. So now that I have some ASINs selected, as you can see, I have exactly 8 of them picked out. You could possibly enter more into this box. However, it's only going to actually display 8 of them on your page. So with that said, the next thing I need to do is set up my exit page rules. Now, since I want this particular exit page to only show up on one page of my website, I need to find that in the drop-down boxes here. And then I can include selected. So I'm going to be including page number 84. So I'm actually done creating this exit page now. So I want to save this in the system. And then I can go ahead and preview it just to make sure everything's looking good. So as you can see here, my product selection for this particular page is much more targeted now than the previous one that I showed you just a minute ago. Now, one other thing to take note of, if you have just created an exit page like this and added rules to include it on a specific page of your website, you need to make sure that they are sorted in the correct order so it actually shows up on your live website. At this current moment, if I go to my live website on the IKEA page and I try to force the exit page to display, it's not going to show up because I'm including the entire site for this exit page, and it'll never make it down to this rule for this specific page here. So what I need to do is actually click this and drag it up top here to change my sort order. After doing that, then I can simply go back to the IKEA page on my site and refresh it, and I'll see the proper exit page show up now. So now, since I had this page already loaded in my browser, I will need to refresh it to actually get the correct exit page to load up for it. But now if I try to close, you can see it has changed over to this new IKEA-based exit page that I just finished creating. Now, you can certainly go farther with this if you would like to, and still maintain promoting Amazon products, because you do still have the ability to customize what's going on up top here and even what's going on down below all of these ads. However, I would strongly recommend, when you are creating an Amazon ad exit page, do not give people another objective that you want them to accomplish on that exit page. You want to keep that focused to basically one objective at a time. So here, my objective is to obviously get somebody to click on one of these Amazon ads and potentially to then go and purchase that product. So I wouldn't want to distract them with a newsletter sign-up form in this same exit page. If you want to use things like newsletter sign-up forms, you want to do that separately. So a page would just pop up with the only objective being to join that newsletter, for example. But beyond that one point, you can decide to do things like maybe you don't want to use this generic image that's at the top. You can provide your own custom HTML coding that would actually show text up here. Or maybe you create your own image file that would go up at the top. In fact, a lot of image files that would be generic words, basic things just like a large weight image, you can easily find things like that already created. If you go out to Google and do an image search, you might be able to actually pick up some images like that instead of having to try to create them yourselves. However, the generic one that I actually include with this plugin, wait, we have some great deals for you on Amazon before you go. This is one that I've personally used out with my own exit pages with a lot of success. And so, at least when you're sticking to promoting Amazon products, where that is the goal of your exit page, you should be safe to simply leave this up at the top, unless you have a good reason for wanting to change how all of this looks. Now next I want to move on to talking about creating custom exit pages. However, I'm going to do this in a separate video simply because this entire training session would become fairly long if I put it all together, but also because the custom exit pages are essentially a completely different objective from what the main Amazon Exit Cache plugin helps you to create with the Amazon ads. So chances are most people will either want to create Amazon ads or custom exit pages with the plugin. There won't be a lot of cases where you're looking to do both. So I did want to split that off into a separate training class for you, simply to make it easier to find. So if you are looking for information on custom exit pages, please move on to the second part of this training session.